you hear the term non-native species or invasive species. We see that a lot with plants like kudzu. Well, birds are the same way. We have brought in birds from mainly Europe because it seemed like the right thing to do at the time. House sparrow is one of them, and it's really a finch from Europe. And somebody decided it would be a good idea to bring him into New York because New York at the time, and this is like late 1800s, early 1900s, they were having a problem in New York with a moth larvae eating their trees, the leaves off their trees.
That's why.
So it's like, somebody had the idea, let's bring in these guys, the house sparrows, because they will eat the larvae, and they'll solve our problem here in New York City. I don't know how many larvae they ate. I don't know if it helped, but gee, as I say, the rest is history. They brought in 60 birds one year.
Really?
It may have been like 1910, or in the next year, 1911, or in that period, they brought in 40 more. Not a lot of birds, just 100 birds. And they turned them loose in New York City. Now there's 600 million of them is the estimate in this country.
Wow.
And they do tend to displace native species. Most or a lot of introduced species of any kind, plants or animals, tend to have an advantage because they're out of their native area where they're held in check by parasites, diseases, predators, and they come to a new place. Those don't affect them here as much, so they can breed and spread rapidly. The house sparrow did the same thing. Now they're all over. I always call them burger birds because I don't think you could go to a drive-in hamburger place in the entire country without seeing these little brown birds hopping all over the place.
Right, they're everywhere.
And they have caused some problems with our native birds. They're all still alive, and of course the house sparrows are too. So it's never a good idea to bring in non-native species. Another good example of somebody trying to do the right thing was the starling. Well, they weren't trying to do the right thing. They were just trying to do a fun thing, an interesting thing. Here again, early 1900s, someone decided that the starling was a very pretty bird. They are. I mean, the starlings are nice-looking birds. We don't think of it because they're bad old blackbirds. But somebody decided it'd be a good idea to bring in all the birds to this country mentioned in Shakespeare's plays.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
What a nice thing to do, of course. Well, as I say, the rest is history on that one also. They brought in some, and the population of those just exploded. So now we have European starlings, the proper name for them, all over the country. Right. And they are a nuisance, and especially when they start coming and raiding your feeders. So two things that try to fix something or enjoy something, you can't do that, or you shouldn't do that. It always causes a problem. There was a third one. I can mention probably 20 other introduced species. I don't think any of them have had the impact that those two have. But the house finch, which a lot of people, especially in the East, confuse with purple finches.
Right.
But they're a little different. The house finch was or is a native of Southwest U.S. and northern Mexico. And why does New York attract all these things? Someone decided that it'd be great to grab a few of them, take them to New York City, and sell them as Hollywood finches, because there's some of them there. And they did. It was highly illegal at the time, still is. So when word got around that they were selling Hollywood finches, and they just turned them loose.
Yeah.
And it was just, I think, 150 of them or something. That's all. But then 5 to 8 years later, they're starting to see more of them around New York, and then it spread, and New Jersey, I think most of them got released in. Now they're all over the East. So we have a previously native to the Southwest U.S. bird, now almost entirely across the country because of that release. Good or bad, but at least it's a native species, but it's in the wrong place now.